The NFL finally kicks off this weekend, and I couldn't be happier. So what am I going to do? Make some picks for the weekend's games, like everyone else, right? Now before we get into the video, hit the like button if you enjoy this video, hit the subscribe button if you're new around here and want to see more videos, because every single Tuesday going forward for the entirety of the NFL season, I'm going to be doing a live stream right here on this channel where I'll be making these picks and talking about literally anything else. Mostly sports related, but life, anything else. Come on by, stop on by, say hi, and yeah, enough of all that. Let's jump into these picks, baby. First up, we got the Thursday night game to kick off the season with the Detroit Lions traveling to Kansas City to play the Chiefs. Now, word came out today in practice that Travis Kelce hyperextended his knee as I'm recording this, so we don't know the extent of that injury just yet, and really, regardless on if he's really, fit to play or whatnot, I think they're going to sit him out anyway, just to be safe than sorry on that one. Because I think the Chiefs win this game regardless. Detroit's going to have a great year, in my opinion. I think they're going to win the division, actually. But having just come off the Super Bowl win and being in Kansas City, the Chiefs are just going to ride that momentum and get a pretty easy dub here. Moving over to the Sunday slate and the AFC games over here on the left side of the screen here. First off, we got Jacksonville traveling to Indianapolis to play the Colts. The Jaguars win this game easily. Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, they got Christian Kirk, they got Calvin Ridley now after his year-long suspension. They're just going to be a dominant force in this division. I think they take it to the Colts very easily. Up next, we got the Bengals traveling to Cleveland to play the Browns, and this is going to be a tough game. Every single NFC or AFC North game between whatever team you can take your pick is always a tough game. This being in Cleveland, I think the Browns are going to make this a very close game, but I think the Bengals are just better. If Joe Burrow is 100% healthy, there's no question in my mind they win this game. I don't think he's 100% healthy though, so this will be a close game, but I think the Bengals take it easily. Up next, we have the Houston Texans going over to Baltimore to play the Ravens. Now, the Ravens are a sleeper team for a lot of people this year. I don't rate them as highly as some people do. In fact, I think they're going to be right on that playoff line. I don't think they win their division. I think the Bengals take that, but they're going to be there and thereabouts all season long. So they get the home dub over Houston quite easily. The Texans are just young. They've got a new coach, a lot of new players, not a lot of young players. They'll be good here in a couple of years. I'm convinced of it, but not yet. The Ravens win this game. Up next, we got the Raiders and the Broncos. Surely Russell Wilson can't be as bad as he was last year, right? I mean, right? Especially with the Raiders not really being a good team as of the moment. They only got Devontae Adams, and that's really it, right? So Sean Payton, Russell Wilson, I think the Broncos win. They're going to be in Denver as well. So close game. Division games are always close, but I think the Broncos take this one, and they start the season 1-0. Up next, we got the Dolphins and the Chargers. This, like I said, with the Bengals, Browns, and the Raiders, Broncos games, these are going to be close. And this is no different. This is going to be a close game. The Dolphins, I think just because they have to travel all the way to the other coast to play the Chargers in this one, the travel is going to be a factor. The home stadium, I know it's been notoriously known that the Chargers just can't really fill up SoFi Stadium with Chargers fans. So we'll see how that goes. But I think the Chargers have a good team. I think they're going to have a good season. I think they end up beating the Dolphins in this one. And yeah, Justin Herbert goes crazy. So there's that. Over to the NFC side of all this, all the Sunday games over here. First up, we got the Cardinals and the Commanders. Commanders' first home game in D.C. without Dan Snyder in the team. Part of the voice crack. They're going to win this game. The momentum that they're going to have with winning this game, with Josh Harris as the new owner and Magic Johnson and some others, the Cardinals just stink this year. They're not going to be that good at all, and yeah, I think the Commanders get the home win. Up next, we got the Panthers and the Falcons. Now, both of these teams are kind of dark horses to win the NFC South, right? Obviously, the Saints here are the favorite. They're kind of the obvious pick for most people, but a lot of people are picking one of these two teams to actually win the division. And I agree with some of them because I think the Panthers are going to win this division. This is a very, very close game. They're going to be in Atlanta, so the Panthers are going to be up against a wall, but I think they pull through. Whether it's Bryce Young, whether it's Andy Dalton to start, I think they're going to be fine. I think they're going to win this game. Up next, we got the Buccaneers traveling to Minnesota to play the Vikings. Not much to say about this one. The Vikings maybe aren't as good as they were last year, but the Bucs are definitely nowhere near as good as the Vikings this year or last year, so the Vikings win. Packers and Bears up next. Again, another great divisional game to start the season. They're going to be in Soldier Field. They're in Chicago. This is going to be super fun to watch. Jordan Love, obviously, what is he going to do now that he has a full season as a starter in Green Bay? Justin Fields, is he going to build off the season that he had personally last year? It's a tough one. I think both of these teams are very evenly matched. So I'm going to give it to the Bears solely on the home field advantage. They're going to be off to a 1-0 start. They're going to drink the Kool-Aid. They're going to believe the hype. Who knows how long they're going to run with it, but I think the Packers keep it close, but they fall to the Bears. Up next, we've got the Rams and the Seahawks. Kind of similar with the Buccaneers, Vikings. Again, this is a good divisional matchup a few years ago, but because they're going to be in Seattle and the Rams have just collapsed ever since they won their Super Bowl a couple of years ago, and the Seahawks, Jackson Smith and Jigba they got from the draft, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, Geno Smith, Kyle Walker III. I think that's I think I got that name right. Their star rookie running back from last year. That offense is too good. They're going to wipe the floor with the Rams in that one. And then finally, the three remaining Sunday games, the interleague games here. We've got the 49ers traveling to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. This is probably going to be one of the games of the week, to be honest with you, because Nick Bosa still hasn't shown up for the 49ers yet, but their offense and their defense is really good. The Steelers' defense, I think, is totally underrated, and I think that their offense is going to take another step forward this year, obviously with Matt Canada and all the controversy around him not having a good offense last year. I think they figure some things out this season. So I'm going to go with the Steelers' home win. That's probably not what a lot of people are going to pick, but I think the Steelers have what it takes to start the season out right. We got the Titans going to New Orleans to play the Saints. And this, again, sort of similar to the Packers and Bears game. Obviously, they're not divisional opponents, but I see both of these teams kind of in a similar state. So I think the Saints are going to win this purely because of the home field advantage. Not really much else to it. I think this is going to be a fun game to watch, and the Saints barely squeak out a win. And then the final Sunday day game, we've got the Eagles and the Patriots. I think the Eagles win this game. Maybe not easily, but they're going to be on the redemption arc, right? After losing the Super Bowl to the Chiefs last year, they traveled to New England. I don't think the Patriots are going to be a bad team this year, but the rest of their division is just super good. I think they're not going to make the playoffs. And I think the Eagles just let out some anger from the Super Bowl last year, right? I think they do the business over the Patriots. All right, moving on to the final Sunday game. We've got the Cowboys traveling to MetLife to play the Giants. Now, both of these teams made the playoffs last year. The Giants, they pay Daniel Jones. They didn't pay Saquon Barkley though, so who knows what that means for him, right? Is he going to have a screw you season and just ball out so he can get paid somewhere else next year, or maybe with the Giants, who knows? Or is he going to take a step back because he's not as motivated because he really wanted to get the money this year and he ended up not doing so? Who knows? The Cowboys, obviously, they've got a microscope under them every single year. Dak Prescott, is he actually going to be good? I mean, he's always a decent quarterback. He's a good quarterback, but he's going to take that next step finally and become a true top 5, top 10 quarterback. Who knows? However, I think the Cowboys win this game. Again, divisional opponents, very close game, very entertaining game. There's a reason it's the Sunday night game. And yeah, I think the Cowboys squeak out a win there. And to wrap up week 1, we've got the Buffalo Bills traveling to the New York Jets. Now, both of these teams, I think, fight for their division there in the AFC East. This is going to be a true who's good, who's not as good, especially being in MetLife. For the Jets, obviously Aaron Rodgers coming over and him bringing some of his buddies from the Packers. The Bills, they want some redemption as well. Their season last year, they were deemed favorites to win the whole thing preseason, and then a bunch of injuries and a bunch of other things happened throughout the course of their season that just kind of distracted them and derailed them to end up losing to the Bengals there in the playoffs. So again, similar to the Eagles for their loss in the Super Bowl, I think the Bills are really going to be determined to get back to at least a deep run in the playoffs and obviously try and make the big game and win the whole thing. And yeah, I think they're going to get off to a flying start against the Jets. Again, a divisional opponent, so it's going to be a close game. It's going to come down to the wire. But I think the Bills, they've just been a better team longer, so they know what it takes to squeak out wins when they need to. And I think that's going to be the case for this game. And the Bills start out 1-0. And there you have it. There's my week 1 predictions. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you check out my upcoming live streams and other videos that I've got coming up here in the next weeks and months. I would greatly appreciate it. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new around here and you enjoy these kind of videos. And until next time, I'll see you later. Peace.